Hello, Targar friends. Hey, everybody. It's Jason Blaha here, and once again, it's time for another Orc Mode workout. Today was max effort upper day, but a quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos, please remember to click like down below. It would be greatly appreciated. Although, interestingly enough, I noticed a video I put up yesterday got the lowest views I've gotten in a long time, and it was tips on how to get to a 500 squat. Like, that's surprising. Make a video on calories, it'll get triple the views. I don't get it. But over to the training. A lot to discuss today. As you guys notice, I'm doing more volume. As of this week, on the lower body, well, the upper body's a lot more volume because I have to work two sides of the body, the pushing and the pulling side on the upper. So, yeah, we're doing a lot of sets. I went with a pen press today, closed grip pen press, just to kind of assess where it's at, look at some weak points. Pen pressing was hard for me. I could see the triceps there a little bit with the lockout. I wasn't able to get super heavy, and I realized I probably need to stop there so I don't start missing lifts in training. But I felt a ton of delt. And you guys are going to notice I'm going to focus more and more on multi-joint exercises. You know, what do I need to do? I need to bring up my shoulders and my triceps. Okay, so you guys will notice what are some of the best builders. What exercise do I feel the most in my triceps? What was I doing even when my triceps were at their biggest a while back? My triceps were bigger a while back than they were now. I was doing dips. Closed grip benching and dips. Now you guys are noticing I'm arching a little more, putting my feet under, pausing, focused on pausing, and I decided to do sixes. I'm going to do a lot of sixes right now. Some stuff will go up to 8 to 10. People ask why. Well, look at the amount of total sets I'm doing. I'm trying to maximize the amount of tension I can put on a muscle without burning myself out with too many junk reps. Because otherwise I'm not going to be able to complete this many sets. And really what it comes down to is how many reps can I get with quality tension on the muscles. Okay. Also, I'm going to work on, because I always seem to be stronger with closed grip no matter what, I have longer arms. It's a long range of motion. A little more arching and trimming out of the bottom. Probably a wise idea. Still the hardest part of the lift for most people. The top only gets weak because triceps are running out of steam. Biomechanically, it's still the weakest point. Taking a little bit out with arching is good. It's easier on your shoulders. It lets me use more lat to get behind it. And I'm hammering my lats hard. Okay, when I've closed grip in the past, when I've had the biggest lats, I've had the best lifts. Right? You guys have seen me hit the 350 plus lifts. They've all been closed grip, and during a time when I was doing a lot of lat work. We're going to continue that trend. With these, though, because I went up a little bit in weight, so I'm dropping reps. I started with 235. It was too easy, so I went up to 240. And I think next week when we do this again, we'll go to 245. And I'll just gradually see if I can work these up. I know I'm cutting, but I think with the extra volume, with it carefully programmed, I'm going to try to regain some of the pressing strength I've lost while cutting. And if nothing else, we're going to build the work capacity. I'll hold on to all the muscle I have from here on out. And when I am able to eat a little more, we should see all these areas come up. I'm going to try to gain muscle while cutting anyways. That's something I always tell people. It doesn't mean you're going to do it, but putting the effort in to do it will sure as hell help you keep onto the muscle you have. Now, I know that's a 5-pound plate, and yes, that's comical. I've been doing these just with body weight. I need to start adding weight. Now, I'm also doing everything narrow grip. One of the things that people will note, I struggle with overhead mobility. I am living proof that mobility work is worthless. Every expert will tell you mobility work, most of it doesn't work. I've done enormous amounts of mobility work. I still struggle with overhead mobility. In fact, I do dead hangs every day because it has helped massively with my impingement and with my grip strength. I'm about to start going to weighted dead hangs. I'm probably going to start hanging either a 25 or a 55 or a 45 or whatever. Okay. But because I struggle with overhead mobility, I want to maximize muscle growth. So why do we do narrower grips on almost everything you see me doing? So it adds range of motion, right? Because some of these I'm going into what actually is a hang for me right there. That was a hang at the end of that rep. That was not me trying to maintain static. That was my full range of motion. I let go loose, let my shoulders roll up, and hung on the last rep. And I do that on some of these just to show you guys that that's my range of motion. I can't actually put my arms straight up over my head. So you'll see that when I overhead press. People say, well, that's a partial, doesn't count, take weight off. Well, if I do the empty bar for 50 reps, it's going to look the same way. Okay. I am hoping I'm doing some extra work. I'm going to mess with some other stuff to see if I can get that overhead mobility up. I'm continuing to do dead hangs every day because they're great for my shoulder health, but we can only work with the range of motion we work at. Okay? We can work with what we work at. So, dips. Now, I'm gripping these a little further up the V-bar, not on the ends, so I can get in tighter, focus more on my triceps. I am focusing very hard on trying to keep my triceps tucked and stay as tight as possible. This is one reason I'm using the wrist wraps. And again, you can only stay tight for so many reps on certain things. So again, another reason to do 6s. We're right inside of that optimal hypertrophy rep ranges as far as being able to maximize hypertrophy off of a single set. Most guys will say, oh, it's between 6 and 20. That's what you'll see the leading experts say. Well, we're in that range. I'm trying to get a little bit above 5s. But 6s, we can get a lot of tension without much junk volume. So if we're going to do a lot of sets, we're doing the least reps possible to get those sets and get as much tension as we can get. So for me, these lit my triceps up. And because I tried to tuck and I focused on that every time, I didn't notice any shoulder pain, which is good because that's part of the problem with dips sometimes. So I'm going to work on progressively getting stronger and hammering my triceps with these. They work the chest no matter what. Also, I always feel my chest. It doesn't matter which version of the dip I do. I'm not doing a lot of forward lean on these. I'm trying to work triceps more, so I'm not doing the real wide grip. People say, why don't you go even closer up? Because I can't. My chest gets in the way. My shirt actually rubs on the thing even with this grip. Got to remember my thickness here, guys. But I get a lot of chest anyways on the dip. But again, when I'm doing them like this, I feel my triceps more so than any other lift. And the thing to remember is, since I'm doing close grip on everything, I feel tricep on all my pressing. I notice even my incline benching, I feel it. Overhead pressing, I feel it. Dips, again, probably even more so. So again, we're going to hammer dips because I need to bring the triceps up. And I've been doing the JM presses and other stuff, and that's cute and all. I'm still not sure they can compete with dips. Again, just getting that sheer mechanical tension on the muscle, it matters. It matters. And I'm hitting enough wide angles that I'm not worried about a lot of small movements. The only thing I'm going to worry about smaller movements for is going to be my shoulders, which we do at the very end for very high reps to failure. Everything else is big movements. So then we go over to chins. Yeah, and I just grabbed a 10-pounder today. Let's start using some weight. The first 3 sets of these, because you guys will notice I do chins twice. I do 3 sets of a push, then 3 sets of a pull. By doing it this way, it lets me pace myself and get a lot more training volume because I have a lot of recovery time doing each exercise. So me taking breaks, because I'm taking fairly long breaks because these are low reps, it gives me a lot of time. I have like 20 minutes between doing another push or pull again. Up to, especially if I count the warm-ups and stuff. Yeah, so this takes me all morning, this workout. I'm not going to claim this isn't a 3-hour workout. It is. Oh, it absolutely is. But same thing on the chins. On the last rep, I always drop to a bit of a dead hang, so you guys can see that is my range of motion. So by gripping narrower, though, I'm increasing the range of motion in spite of what my joints are limited to. And people need to remember, when people say, oh, do we gain less muscle if you have a joint that limits? No. You're still taking something through your full range of motion. But in my case, I'm going out of my way to use my long arms to disadvantage to make me move everything further. I have to move my body further. But the first 3 sets of chins I do with around a shoulder width grip, I bring them in a couple inches on each side for the next ones. So after the incline, I do weighted chins again. This is making sure my biceps and lats get hit. I said my lats need to come up a lot. I could feel my lats and my hamstrings and weak link on my deadlift. And my deadlift had been at its best when I did lots of chin-ups before the impingement. So as long as I stick to doing these, I think on just the upper body days, I can get away with a lot of chin-up and pull-up volume. Get away with a lot. Just need to get strong at them. But that's giving me plenty of bicep work. Because I'm going to end up doing 6 sets of chins every workout, my biceps should grow from that quite well. Keeping in mind pull-ups and rows work them too, but are working more brachialis, radial brachialis. I went up 5 pounds on these today because I got like 7 last time. Right? So I went up 5 pounds. Managed to get my 3 sets of 6, pausing every rep. Again, this is close grip. A goal will be to get these caught up to what my wide grip had been. I'm stronger on close grip on flat bench, but I'm stronger on incline with a wide. But I want the benefits of the closer grip, right? I want that extra range of motion. It's one reason I think it's so much harder, because look how long my range of motion is. That's ridiculous. That's like a 3-foot stroke, right? Close to. I could measure it later. I'm actually curious. I'm actually curious what it might be. It's at least 30 inches, if not more. So, again, trying to use that range of motion to force more muscle growth. I'm having to do a lot of work on every rep. We're getting a lot of stretch. Pausing on everything. If I can get those caught up, if I can get those sets of 6 there up to the 225 I was doing for 5s on the wider grip, I'm going to be in a very good place. So we'll set that as a goal. These chins, notice I go closer. Again, I'm just changing the angle to make it a different exercise. So I'm doing 4 different pulls today. They're all a different movement. Even though 3 of them are overhead, right? 3 of them are a vertical pull. I need the lat development. And I need the biceps. And we know that biceps grow a lot more from vertical pulls than horizontals. And that's been proven in every study that's ever checked growth on vertical pulls versus curls do not ever pass them. The only time a study has ever passed bicep growth using curls versus back exercises has been with rows, right? And that was a Brad Schoenfeld study. He tries to say, this shows that single joint movements for biceps can be better than back movements. Well, in that context, but he didn't compare any overhead stuff. He didn't do chin-ups. I promise you the results wouldn't have been the same, because there have been multiple studies that have looked at this and actual measured growth in novice lifters and trained lifters in separate studies. Yep, vertical pulling works the biceps more. In this case, though, again, it's letting me kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I don't need to worry about any curling. I get a lot more grip work in while still hammering those lats, which are a weak link for me on my deadlift. Then we get to overhead pressing, and this is where people are going to talk about my range of motion. I struggled with it today. I thought I would get 6s with this today because, it's what I used last time, and I only just started pressing again. Thought it'd be fine. No, I couldn't get more than 5 because I did so much other pressing between the closed grip press, the dips, the incline. Now, people will talk about that. This is where we'll talk about range of motion. That's as high as I can go. And that's my angle, so I have to actually be at that front angle. I can't put my arms straight up over my head 90 degrees from my body. I can't do it. Now people say, can't you do it against the wall? Yeah, I can do it against the wall, and that's 20 degrees forward. My chest is that thick, right? If I walk up to a wall and touch my chest up against the wall, my face is like 4 inches behind the wall, away from the wall still, 3 inches, something like that. So of course I can put my hands up against the wall that way. I can do wall slides just fine, but wall slides are not going to put me there. I'm going to continue to work on some stuff, and I can actually get overhead to a better angle if I go wide grip, but we come back over to that point. I move more weight with a closer grip. It gets more tricep involved. It's a longer range of motion. So this is really what I need to be doing. We'll get better carry over to my closed grip benching, which is the point. That's the thing. I'm not over here trying to win a strength lifting meet. And, in strength lifting, they make an exception, and I don't know that they should do that. Let's be honest here. Rules are the rules. And if a person doesn't have the ability physically, their body will not allow them to conform to a rule in a sport, I don't know that you should make exceptions for them. Is that really true to the true meaning of a sport? That could be where they just say that's too bad. And I've heard J.M. Blakely say that. Well, there's plenty of 5'2" guys who want to be in the NBA. Well, that's just too bad. So, strength lifting would technically, by their rules, if I could show them my range of motion and prove to them that that's what it is, they would actually pass me. But I don't know that that's really fair. If that's the limit of range of motion on my shoulder, then I just simply can't complete a meet legal lift. I mean, we could argue it both ways. But here's the thing. I'm not worried about my press as far as, hey, this is my press. This is what I could do in that one competition that measures it. What am I worried about? I'm worried about building my bench. I am doing it to build my bench. I'm doing it to get stronger. Well, in that context, it'll work. It will work just fine, right? Rowing, I decided to do my rows stricter. I'm trying to do true pin lays with less body movement. I dropped down to 235. These were hard after doing all those chins and pull-ups, though. 9 sets of back. These were tough. The first set, I felt like I got them all. The second set, I started cheating after the 7th or 8th rep. I know I started cheating. So the last set, I went to 8 reps and stopped because I knew I couldn't do any more without cheating. Like, look at these early reps, right? They're fine. These are strict. I get to around rep 8, and I'm cheating. I'm back to, because I'm fatigued. I can't go strict anymore. Well, I need to keep these stricter. I've been doing a little more cheaty. I'm going to tighten them up and be stricter because number one, they're later in the workout. Number two, I'm doing so much other pulling. I don't need to fatigue my back throwing around an extra 20 pounds, 30 pounds without this not necessarily putting any more tension on the muscles. It's the same tension. It is the same tension. When people say cheating takes tension off, no, it doesn't. If you use a heavier weight and use a little swing, you're probably, if the muscles are reaching failure, you're getting the same tension. It may not be ideal for recovery. Tension's the same. But if I'm going to look at it from that perspective of recovery, I need to just keep them as relatively strict, which we did there. Then we do our shoulder fluff. This is going to be the little bit of fluff I do. Right? Why? Delts are the biggest muscle in the body. My side delts are possibly underworked. My rear delts and front delts get a lot of work in this training. Things like my upper traps, maybe my side delts need a little more. So here's what I'm going to finish off with. This is going to be the little bit of bro work I do. And let's come over to the point I'm cutting. I might as well build my delts up. I mean, if we're going to talk about marketing later when the shirt comes back off, I hate the term aesthetics, but what is the quickest cheats to aesthetics? People get really lean and they build their delts. That's it. That's what it means. That's what people mean. Probably help my money later. So I might as well do it. Plus, let's come to the other point. Shoulder stability matters a lot. It matters even more so when I'm close gripping. Your delts are more important. I need to just go ahead and get full delt development. I need all three heads of my delt big. Also, the delt is the biggest muscle in the upper body anyways. Everything else is getting sufficiently worked. Arguably, my delts might be slightly underworked, some certain parts of them. So we'll just finish them off with 10 minutes or less of fluff. I can do these movements, maybe 60 seconds break between all 6 sets, and just come in and finish them. We're just throwing in some pump work for my shoulders. So we'll do some of the best small movements, easy to recover from. Lateral raises. Data on them is overwhelming. They hammer the side head. They hit the upper trap. They hit the upper trap as hard as shrugs, surprisingly, in some studies. Again, if we go off EMG, it's not everything. Certainly not everything. But I get a lot of trap work with all my other pulling, though, especially all my deadlifting and speed pulls against bands, everything else. But I need to make sure that upper back is big. So all this stuff will hit my traps. It will hit my side and my rear delts. The laterals will, because I've been over slightly. Facepulls will also. Again, just making sure that upper back is finished off. You know what? I also need that upper back for my squatting. I need to go ahead and thicken that area up more. It'll give me a more stable shelf. This band was too light to start. I started with this Rogue Mini red band. It just got too light. I got past 30 reps. I'm like, let me grab a blue band. So I finished off 2 sets to failure with the blue band. So we ended up doing at the end 6 sets for side and rear delts and traps. Right? 6 quick sets of pump work. The only real bodybuilder type work in here. Because I don't need it for the other stuff. I'm doing tons of close grip type pressing for my triceps. I'm doing the dips. I'm going to focus on progressive overload on every one of those. My triceps are going to grow. Front delts are going to grow. My pecs are going to grow. All that stuff's good. My biceps, all of the chinning and pull-ups, they're going to grow, especially if I push progression on it and continue to, again, work a couple different angles. Everything else there is good. Everything else there is good. I just need the shoulders and upper back to have a little bit extra to finish them off. Okay? They could use just a little bit more. So that's what we're doing. Overall, though, I was happy with today's workout. Everything went exactly as planned, other than the overhead pressing. I was shocked at today. I just felt like even my lockout at the top was even worse on the mobility. I need to start doing the weighted hangs. I didn't like my strength on it, but everything else went exactly as planned. Extremely happy with the workout. So I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.